What you know about black girl magic? Hello South Africa, welcome to another amazing episode of We Living Lit with the Fundi Zwane. Today I am in Ballito and we are interviewing none other than Nikolas Michael, who has spent over 10 years building this formidable brand to make me feel like a black goddess. Let's go on over and see how him, Pumi and the team made me look like this little Red Riding Hood. Let's go. Today, I got to kick it with the coolest hairdresser in Ballitoville. Salon owner, businessman, hero, Nikolas Michael. Having first made a name for himself in Jozi, city of lights and dreams, Michael let that dream blow him to the shores of eThekwini, where his business now enjoys formidable success. A recovering drug addict, a loving father, and a big boss, Nick feels that all that's happened to him has contributed in making him who he is today. In addition to having the hands of a magician, Nick has a passion for encouraging other individuals who have a history of substance abuse and uses his own story to show that it is possible, Bafetu, to overcome. We sat down at Vicolo Italian and went down memory lane and recounted the steps of what has brought Nick this far and his amazing brand, of course. Nick, bye-bye. What a treat, what a human, what a champion, right? So, Nick, here we are. We're sitting with this formidable brand that you've built, right? And it's been 10 years in the making, South Africa, just in case you were wondering. It's been 10 years in the making.
22.
22 years in the making. But for me, the most important thing is, where does this journey begin? Your journey with hair, your passion, your love for this. Talk me through where all of this began, because every master starts somewhere, guys. So where did this master start?
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call you V.
Yes.
Beauty.
Yeah.
Firstly, thank you very much for coming by and letting us play with your hair and blessing us.
Yes.
You made my staff very happy coming in the store today.
It's more than a pleasure.
Yes, my journey with hair pretty much started when I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
I took my little brother to the garage with a pot and my mom's kitchen scissors.
What?
He was 3 years old. He had the most beautiful long blonde curly hair. I'll never forget this day. And my whole childhood, all I ever wanted was this like mushroom wedge cut in the middle path.
Goodness.
That was what was trending.
At the time, I remember that.
Late 80s, early 90s.
Yes.
And school was so strict, you know, we couldn't have it past the eyebrow. It was very much
Yes, we cut a certain way, can't touch your collar.
Oh, goodness.
Right. Oppression.
Yeah.
Let us be free.
Yeah,
Damn it.
100%.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I thought, well, I'm going to free my brother, you know. I'm going to take him through to the garage.
Unknown to your mom, right?
Because it's not inconspicuous at all. And I mean, I wasn't doing anything wrong. At the garage, it felt like the appropriate place to be because it was going to be a bit messy. Mm-hmm. And I sat him down, I put the pot on his head, and I took my scissors thinking, I'm going to cut this beautiful... And my goodness, it did not come out the way I expected. Needless to say, my little brother walked in the house, my mom saw her, old Italian auntie chased me around the house with a wooden spoon. broke 2 of them on me.
Whoa!
Yeah, I got one of the biggest hidings of my life that day. His hair was my mom's pride and joy.
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
I'd like
any
to
parent,
say,
by the way, I've got a 6-year-old that's got dreadlocks, right?
Yeah.
And literally there is an attachment that a mother has to hair, right? With the baby. So you gone ahead and ruined all of that for your mama. So you cut off the blonde locks
and yeah, I think that's kind of where my journey started. I then bought a little clipper and I'd shave my own hair and stuff, and I'd give some of my buddies haircuts. Had no desire to be a hairdresser or stylist. Was never in the cards. Was a big rebel at school.
Goodness.
Always making trouble. Anyway, long story short, they wanted to expel me. They couldn't. I was halfway through standard 8.
Goodness, yeah.
My older brother was head boy. We fought. I landed up hitting him at school.
What?
And the headmaster was like, "That's it, you don't want to be." And I said, "No, I don't." And she said, "Well, what do you want to do?" And I said, "I want to go to Technicon. I want to do electronics or something." So they tried to get me in. They wouldn't accept me because I didn't have a standard 8 certificate or I wasn't 16.
Yeah.
So eventually this little girlfriend I had at the time, her mom's boyfriend was an Italian guy, and his friend had a salon in Woodmead in Santon. And I was offered an opportunity to go be his apprentice, and he would write a letter of recommendation saying that I'm doing my practicals, and when I'm 16 he'll send me to college. So that was out of school. I was like, I'm done, had no desire to do hair, and that's pretty much where my career or my journey in hair started. Took a very, very long time for it to unravel to get to where it is now. But yeah.
That's how it all started.
That's how it started. I fell into it. They ended up becoming a cover-up because my family obviously didn't agree with all of my decisions.
Talk me through that. Your father, I mean, you're a Caucasian man, and there are dreams that I'm assuming, I mean, I know growing up in a black household, there's dreams that parents have for us, Nick.
Well,
these are universal, and I'm sure Daddy had dreams for you. Did this fit the mold of what a young Caucasian man can aspire towards?
Not a chance. My dad's pretty much native in this country. He came to South Africa when he was 18 years old from a little island in Greece. Couldn't speak a word of English. 10 siblings, very, very poor family. Dad was a fisherman, died from double pneumonia back in the 50s. And him and 2 brothers came here because South Africa was a land of opportunity.
At the time,
we were stronger than the dollar, it was happening, and they were making money, sending it home. My dad got into electronics, started fixing pinball machines. His very first night he slept in Hillbrow. He walked around, opened someone's car door and slept in the back of someone's car. That was his story. That's how he got here, and he wanted to pave a good sort of road out for us, so we didn't have to do the same thing.
Right.
And I was having none of it.
Clearly, dude, none of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so me being willful, obviously not acknowledging at the time that I suffered from this disease called addiction. My parents went through quite a bad breakup when I was 14. Very unheard of in our community, in the continental community. So we were kind of outcasts, felt like we didn't belong. It was hard for all of us, but still had no reason for me to behave the way I did. I connect with that now. But anyway,
you recognize that.
I did what I did. I left home, then obviously got into a lot of substance abuse. Parties were good. Eventually the guy, long story short, sold me the drugs that I used to buy, offered me a discounted price because I was living alone and I was only earning 400 Rand a month as an apprentice.
What?
Yeah, and I was living in like a maid's quarters in the back of someone's house in Norwood, and I would get a lift to work and back. And I started selling this stuff on the side, and then that very quickly became what I wanted to do, and hairdressing was the cover, because at that point, like I said, I had no desire to be a hairstylist, so I thought I was pretty much like a Pablo Escobar.
Kind of, I'm a man. Please do not pursue that at home, children.
No, I
better dreams.
Recommend against any of those behaviors.
And Nick, I want to pause here right now because we've got about like 4,000 people that are going to be watching this, and everybody, and I think this is the common human experience. Everybody somewhere has been through something.
100%.
You've battled with addiction, you've fought it, you've ridden this monster called fear and addiction, and you've overcome it, and it's a daily thing, right?
It's a daily retrieval,
right? It's a journey.
Yeah, as I was saying to you earlier, if you have blood sugar problems and you're diabetic, you take your insulin, for me, pills weren't the answer. So I resorted to getting involved with the Narcotics Anonymous and the Alcoholics Anonymous program, and I worked at 12 steps. So that spiritual program is my medicine, and it's a choice. It's a daily choice. I get up every morning, I get on my knees, and I ask God for the knowledge of His will and for the power to carry it out. Do I get it right every day?
No, probably not like the rest of us.
Never.
Yeah.
But have I been free of mood and mind-altering substances for the last few years? Yes, I have.
My man.
And I've managed to help a few other guys, you know, because our 12-step stipulates that the only way we can keep this gift is by passing it on to the next guy. So basically, the first 4 steps are finding a higher power, so it's trust God. The next 4 steps are cleaning house, and then the next 4 steps are helping others. So it's trust God, clean house, help others. Very simple program. Sad that only 3% of the world's population choose to stick to it, because it is 100% foolproof. And the statistics are that recovery rates are 3%. Whether you're a cocaine, crack,
or whatever addict,
alcohol, whatever, it's in fact alcohol's the worst. Because I think we're sitting at a beautiful restaurant right now, and there it is. It's on tap.
On offer.
And it's the biggest killer of all. The drug that no one believes a drug.
Right.
So,
but Nick, I want us to go there. You battle addiction, you overcome this thing, you're sort of managing and building this gorgeous business, and then smack bam, a couple of years ago you decide, you know what, Joburg's been real, I want to go try out KZN where the sea is. What has this move been like for you as a businessman from Johannesburg to Durban, both financially? First I want to talk about the finances of it and how it affects your family. How it's affected your family, this move, in hindsight.
Well, 10 years ago, I moved here. The mother of my daughter moved me here, thinking that Joburg was my problem, not Durban.
Oh, goodness.
And I very quickly showed her that I was the problem. And that no matter where I was in this world, I would find, seek, and destroy. Because that's what it is, you know. This disease is, it's selfish, self-centered, self-seeking. You know, it's a monster. It's a big monster.
All-consuming monster.
100%. So anyway, I got you under those pretenses. Very quickly showed her it wasn't like that. Had a really, really sketchy relationship. She also battled with the same disease as me. So you must know, 2 addicts with no solution together. Recipe for disaster.
Are there kids involved at this point as well?
There were, yes, they were, unfortunately. They were the ones, when I found out about my children, my life turned at a big point. At that point I realized that doing what I was doing firstly was harmful, because at that point I still thought I was Pablo Escobar.
Right,
I actually had just come out of prison when I found out that I had a daughter. So I've only met my daughter at 18 months. So is that when you find out about daughter? Yes. And so she would tell me about the first time seeing your own eyes in this little human. That experience of, there's another little human. She looks just like me. It became very clear to me that what I was doing was wrong, and that I was destroying other people's children's lives. And I very quickly woke up to the fact that I needed to change. It's almost like you sobered up. It's a sobering moment. Because by this point I'd stopped working, thinking that I was the ultimate gangster, living this high life. It was just money, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, pretty much. Women were objects. I was
no emotional connection to anything.
Not a nice person, no. Find this out. Quickly try to hold on to it. She was 5 months pregnant at the time with a child, a little boy, who thought that he was my daughter's father. So it's a very Jerry Springer.
But nonetheless, you moved to Durban. So she says,
we moved to Durban. She said, let's get you here. Try to get it right. I started working as a hairstylist again, and I took my job seriously for the very first time. Actually, I don't want to lie, I got into it, but I also slipped out of it, you know. I got you, and I knew that this is what I had to do. I had to commit. I knew I had a talent. I knew I had a skill. I don't know how. God obviously knew all of this before, and He put me. When I look back and I connect the dots now, it all makes perfect sense.
It's a tapestry. It's beautiful, right?
It's beautiful. Got into a really big company in Gateway, and I started working, and I started building a name for myself, and it was tough, man. Most of what our arguments turned into were financial ones. Living in Schlange, paying the bills.
Don't come cheap, them Schlange bill, guys.
Came here with no car because they'd written my car off, passed out while I was driving like a real rock star. It was just one thing after the next. Built myself up, started entering a few competitions, won the first Natal champs, and boom, I started soaring.
How was the adrenaline of that? Like, I know I'm good at something, and this thing is healthy. It's not a drug, Nick. It's this talent, a God-given talent.
It has become my drug.
That's beautiful to hear. I'm sorry. That is stunning to hear.
It has. Of course, you've got to be careful as well. You can't put it in front of everything else.
Correct.
So now
you don't idolize it, but we know that
through my years I've learned that there's balance, you know.
Yes, and God speaks through this talent.
8 hours work, 8 hours sleep, and 8 hours of wife, kids, and everything else that goes along with it. It's been tough.
It's been tough.
It's been tough.
But tell me, Nick, what are your 3 business principles that you know for sure? Like the one thing you know for sure about business is?
You get up, you dress up, you show up.
My nigga. Anything else?
No matter what.
No matter how you feeling.
I've had an operation on my neck 2 years ago. I got out of hospital. He told me stay at home 6 weeks. I got driven to my work. I sat there with a neck brace.
Gorgeous.
I maybe didn't work and didn't push boundaries because I also had to respect my body.
Yes, very important.
But I was in my business, and I made sure that whatever was going on, my clients and my customers saw my presence, and I was there helping guide people along the way. So get up, dress up, show
up, do it.
In this economy and in this day and age, you got to. You can't.
It's almost like you don't have a
business
choice.
and not be in it. You know, I've seen some of the big guys step away from their businesses, and I've seen what it's done to them. And they're asking the question, why? I'm so successful, I've done so well, I'm a brand. But if you're not in your brand, you've got no brand. So unfortunately, it's hard work that pays off.
So you find you enjoy being operationally involved in your businesses?
I could never not be.
That's so weird, Nick, because as a business, I can't wait to get to a point where I can delegate responsibility and not be
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
Someone do this, not me.
I walk in and all I do is delegate.
Goodness, really?
Boom, boom, boom. I got a team of people and they're there.
100%.
100%. I'm overseeing, I'm making sure that it's a smooth, well-oiled machine. And when there are problems, I'm there to approach problems, because not everyone's going to have your vision.
That's correct.
It took me a very long time to find a team of girls that I could work with and kind of mold into
what you need for the business.
The Nikolas Michael brand, because you know, for me, it's about coming into a place where you feel like you're at home, but you know that it's a place of excellence. I mean, we called ourselves the hair extraordinaires,
which is huge.
You know, people have said, "Where's your motto?" I'm a hair extraordinaire.
Get with it. Can you not see me, South Africa? Come on.
What vision or mission do you want, you know? Get in here, feel comfortable, feel relaxed, and just enjoy it. 5-star service from beginning to end, you know?
I have to comment on this, South Africa, and if you have not been here to Ballito to experience this, you gotta. I walk into your shop, right, and there's a lady there sitting with a Louis Vuitton bag, and she's like, I've been stalking you on Instagram and I've wanted you to get your hands on my hair for a long time. That's point number 1. The second person I just chatted to was like, this is the only man I trust with my hair. So you've got such an excellent bedside manner or a tableside manner with your clients, and it's just, it's you can see it, you can witness it from the time you walk into that door. And have you worked hard for that? To earn that kind of credibility with your clients, my brother?
Very hard, and it's education. It boils down to educating yourself, you know. I qualified as a hairstylist in 2000.
It's been years.
2000, and I haven't stopped learning. I haven't stopped studying. I've been on every course. I have so many accolades. I've done stuff overseas. In fact, I do platform work for a big international brand from Germany called Vela. I was in Malta last year. I launched a big 3-day seminar for them. This year I was in Morocco. Just got back from Morocco a few weeks ago. So I'm very involved. I also do platform work for them and educate for them and teach for them. I've just done my master colors, of which I was awarded the 2nd highest mark in the country.
What? Baba, deal with that. That is amazing.
The girl who beat me by 0.01%.
We take her down next year. We're happy for that queen. Well done to you, but next year. That is awesome, man.
0.01. I mean, I had
like
94.41. She got 94.42.
What was it?
Like a split of a split. Yeah.
Yes.
So.
But does that make you proud?
Very. I was very unexpected. It was a very dramatic year. I
Yeah.
dropped out of my master color program.
Yeah.
I just got news that the mother of my daughter, the one that moved me, had taken her life and passed away.
Yeah.
I had to deal with children. They were kind of unhappy and sad and heartbroken, and we had our other business in Umhloti. There had a few glitches there, so I was going into liquidation. It was kind of I was just trying to hold. I felt like someone was pulling my pants down. Could not get them back up. So don't let the beautiful shop and all of the surroundings fool you, man. Business is tough, and there's a story. And if one very successful businessman told me, if you don't at least liquidate 3 times a year, you are not a successful, hard-driven businessman.
I hope my investors have heard that statement. If we don't liquidate at least 3 times.
Not from buying Louis Vuitton bags, eh?
Oh, damn, you onto me. I love that, because when it's so easy for someone to walk into this business and think you had it made, right?
No.
You've had all the circumstances in your favor.
No.
You've had all of the, but there's a story there, like you said, and it's been hard, and it's been sweet, and it's been tough
many
decisions.
people that have contributed and added to the story. Many people that I could give thanks to, and have many mentors, many people that have guided me through the way. Many people who believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. You know, as a drug addict, you get labelled. So I was Norman Nowhere. I came out of treatment in 2015. I kind of got my best foot forward, listened to what they told me, spoke to my sponsor, kept going to meetings, kept working my steps, and eventually the guy I was working for, an opportunity arose. I then got delved into it. I was offered to purchase a brand, to create our brand, and then start paying it off. I then got blessed enough to have someone come in and financially back me up and believe in me. And this is what I believe is a higher power. It wasn't, you know, God stepped in and intervened. He said, my boy, you're doing things right. Now's your time to shine. And nothing, let me tell you, because when everything kind of transpired, I got hold of banks, and then they wanted this credential and that asset,
which we don't have.
And I was like, are you joking?
Are you mad?
Are you joking? Like, I'm a junkie. I don't even know the car. Like, I didn't like it. So I was like, what? And
the system that's against us.
Slowly but surely, you know, I bought a car from a dude who allowed me to pay him off over 6 months, a little run around. I started there, and then from there the next step, and then the next step, and then by the time I got to get in the business, I thought, well, here it is, it's not going to happen. That's me done. And I woke up, my wife turned around and said to me, because at this point I got married and got another little boy involved. Yes, in my recovery.
There is hope.
Yes.
Nick, so talk me through how you survived your toughest time as a human. Not as just a business, because that's got its own traumas, and you've spoken quite candidly about that. But as a human being, because I see, in case you didn't see this, South Africa, I do like me a man with ink. You've got plenty, and I've got some ink myself. I want to talk through this. Like, are these survival stories?
Everything has a story. Everything has a story.
Talk me through that. Your toughest time as a human being, and talk me through the ink as well. Has that meant
I think my toughest time as a human being was being me.
Was it hard at some point?
It turned into being me, first it was everybody else. And then I couldn't be me. Eventually everything just got enough, and it was either sink or swim. It was either die or live. And that was kind of my rock bottom, where everything outside of myself was going well. I was living on the beach in Umhloti. I had a decent car. I was earning 40,000 rand a month.
That's decent. That, I mean, hey.
I was good. I didn't own my own business, and I was making that much money. I was like, I'm in the game. But by the second of every month, I was broke. Because there was always a story. There was always something, and eventually everything stopped working, and I just got sick.
Is this now physically ill, mentally ill? How did you, when you say sick,
physically ill,
couldn't get out of bed, kind of
from
sick?
my addiction. So that was my worst. I think, and the only thing that got me through it was finding a spiritual
center.
So I asked for help, and I got it.
And
I became willing.
Yeah?
These
How
were
did
there.
these come about? And that's it for this week of Living Lit. Join us again next week for part 2 of this amazing interview.